Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is figure out how to place our picture planes onto our support so that they're centered from side to side and from top to bottom, and so that the two formats themselves have a space in between them that is equal to the space from top to bottom and the space from bottom to bottom. Artists don't like math, but if we're patient, we can figure this out. So I'm drawing a quick sketch to help myself figure out the dimensions. So we have a page that's 11 inches in its width and 14 inches in its height. We have to figure out how to put two 4x6 picture planes so that they are centered both top to bottom and left to right. Notice that between the two picture planes, which are set up in a vertical column, there's 2 spaces from left to right, and from top to bottom there's 2, 3 spaces in the vertical direction from top to bottom. So if we do some quick math here, we can figure out this not so complicated dimension and this more complicated dimension. I like to get rid of the complicated first. So we have our 14-inch dimension here with 2 picture planes that are 4 inches in height. 4 plus 4 equals 8. So we have a total dimension in height of the 2 picture planes that is 8 inches overall. If we subtract that number from 14, we're going to get a total of 6 leftover space. That leftover space is where we find our 3 increments. So if we divide 6 by 3, we get 2 inches. So that means that between the bottom of the picture of the page itself and the picture plane, we have a dimension of 2 inches. Between the 2 picture planes, we have a dimension of 2 inches. And between the top of the picture plane and the top of the page, we have 2 inches. The next aspect is how the picture planes are situated on the page in the horizontal direction. So we have a total of 11 inches in width, and we have a picture plane that is 6 inches in width. So 11 minus 6 equals 5. And we have 2 spaces that we're looking for. So 2 into 5 equals 2.5, which means from side to side, we have a space of 2.5 to the right and 2.5 to the left. And obviously that same dimension is going to be transferred on the left and the right of the bottom picture plane. So that's the basic layout: 2 inches from top to top, 2 inches from bottom to top, and 2 inches from bottom to bottom, 2.5 inches from left to left side in both picture planes, and 2 inches from right to right side in both picture planes. Okay, so the next step is to create a diagram on our page. And you want to use a pencil and obviously your ruler to figure this out. So the first thing that I like to do is figure out the simpler direction, which is the 2.5 inches here and the 2.5 inches here. So what I'll do is I'll take my ruler on the inch side. I'll place my ruler so that it's parallel with the bottom of the page. And you want to make sure that you're not going from the end of the ruler, but rather from the 0. Measure in 2.5 inches, 1, 2.5. And then rather than lifting up your ruler, if you just slide it to the 11, 10 is 1, 9 is 2.5. And then come up to the top of the page, orient it the same way. Make sure that you're parallel with the top of the page and that your 0 is on this right edge. Come in 2.5. Make sure you're lined up with the 11 here. Come in 1, 2.5. And then before I draw the line, I like to lay my ruler between those two marks and just make sure that these distances look the same. And just draw a very light line down. You can see how that's barely visible. Could probably be even lighter, but I'm trying to let you see it in the lens. Again, just make sure that this looks equal all the way up. Draw a very light line. Now, this dimension between here and the bottom of that bottom format or picture plane should be 2 inches. So don't just draw a line straight across. So what I like to do now is line up my ruler with the mark that I just made so that it's parallel, touching it. Put my 0 on the bottom of the page. Draw up 2 inches. Make a tick. Same thing over here. Let's go from 4 to, and you can go ahead and draw a line straight across. Make sure that you're parallel, looks good. Draw a line. Now, that should be 6 inches. And it's just about 6 inches. Now, I say just about because the page is not quite 11 inches and not exactly 14 inches. So we're going to have a little bit of fudge number, but as long as our picture planes are 4x6-ish and everything is at a right angle square to the page, we'll be fine. So now I'm going to, again, lay my ruler, put it on the 4-inch mark, draw up, make a tick. Again, 4 inches up, make a tick. And then draw a line straight across. Now you could draw 2 inches here. I prefer, if I'm going to have any evenness to my measurements, I want to make sure that I have the 2 inches here and the 2 inches here, because I'm going to wind up with a space that's a little bit under 2 inches because the page is not 14 inches exactly. So again, making sure that I'm parallel with that original diagrammatic line, measure down 2 inches. Again here, 2 inches. Draw a line that spans those two. Make sure that we look fairly square. We should have 6 inches across, just about. 4 inches down from that puts us right here. And another 4 inches down puts us right here. And line up our 2 marks. Make sure that this space is equal. And it looks good. And draw a line across. Okay, so we've got 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, and almost 2 inches. We're off by 1/16 of an inch, but that again is because this page is not quite, there's the 12. Yeah, it's just 1/16 of an inch under 14. Once you've got that done, you'll take your 0.5 marker and we'll go ahead and ink this in so that we have nice clear borders. Make sure you're not drawing over your diagrammatic lines. You're just drawing outside the border or the outer border of your picture plane. And obviously this is useful for our purposes right now, but imagine you were hanging paintings on the wall and you wanted them to be lined up and centered and have equal distance between. I use this type of formula in the gallery a lot. Once you've got everything inked in, go ahead and take the eraser and you should be able to erase right over your now newly inked in formats, picture planes, and now you've got beautifully centered image. Take your time. This is part of your craftsmanship, knowing how to do this type of stuff.